Hey everyone, welcome to week 7. Happy belated Father's Day to all you dads out there. Hope you guys had a great weekend and got to spend some time with your families. Um, in week 7 and 8, we're going to talk about the legal and ethical framework around a business. Keep in mind that the legal framework is the laws that's set by the federal government and the state governments in which you operate. Um, those frameworks are typically they're written, they're enforced by government. They can be a little bit of a quasi-government, like a state bar association can get into helping write specific laws. Also, like the AICPA, FASB, for the accounting side of the house, and then medical boards can also get in there from a healthcare side as well. So it's not always the legislature. Sometimes the profession can self-regulate some as well. There's also the ethical side of the house. Ethical side of the house is how we behave. It's our moral behavior, right? It's how we want to conduct business. And you'll hear a lot of people always say the tone at the top, and that's your senior leaders. Basic how they conduct business and how they want to conduct business sets the tone for the entire operation. And think of it as if you look in the history books, you look at a WorldCom, you look at an Enron, you look at Madoff, you look at some of these examples where how the tone at the top was set. Another good example is if you ever watch the movie Wolf of Wall Street. No matter what it took, he was going to sell something to somebody, no matter if it was worthless. And that's a tone at the top. And believe it or not, that really affects companies. I've seen it, and it can be quite scary. Luckily, I'm in a company now where we're specifically very high on ethics, and nothing should ever question what is the difference between right and wrong. But sometimes you get into some companies where you have to go, okay, I know this is wrong, and you may have to make a personal choice that you don't want to be there long term. So that's kind of my spill on ethics. So as you become a leader, and as you advance in your career, always make sure you set the right example and always do the right thing, even though no one's looking. And any decision you make, just think about it. If I make this decision, if it's a tough decision, how would it look in the newspaper? What would my friends, my family, my neighbor think if I made this type of decision? And sometimes it's a tough decision. Maybe you're looking at closing a location, and that's not necessarily the most favored decision, but you sometimes have to take it, you know, as if you put it, in a different light. Well, you know, maybe I'm looking to do something completely illegal. How would that look in a newspaper? So just think about that and keep that in the back of your mind as you progress through your career. So this week you've got a couple projects to do, I think. And then you also have a video check-in. So let's take a look at the module 7. So you have an executive summary due, you have a milestone memo due, and you have a instructor check-in. So make sure that you don't wait until the last minute. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And again, always when you go into these assignments, always make sure you get into the requirements of the rubric. You read specifically what we're looking for, and then always use the rubric as kind of your master outline. So I'll keep the video short. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your